Okay, how many of you got a chance to work on that extra project?
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Vivek.
Yeah, I tried, but I mean, I couldn't figure out like what to create or not. But yeah, I tried a little. Only
Okay.
three chart I could make.
Yes, even I tried.
Okay,
Yeah,
good, good.
2 charts have been.
See, more than the charts, I think what was important was I wanted to see that of okay, if I give you a data set and a business problem, were you able to think about the right questions or not? Because remember, we did this thing that if you've come up with the right questions and the analysis, then creating charts is very easy. It's relatively easy.
Yeah,
This
we
part is easy
tried.
part.
Yeah, we tried. I mean, I tried, but I was getting stuck. Like the data which was given to us.
Mhm.
And it was said that CEO of the bank would require
Be
this.
looking at the dashboard, correct?
Yeah, and we had lots of banks in it. So is that all the bank CEOs will see that, or you know what was that? That wasn't clear to me. The other thing,
Okay.
the other thing was that because the value part, which is like the gross approved and the gross given, okay,
Mm-hmm.
the loan, that was all in a dollar sign, so it was text again. So that analysis we couldn't do that. I mean, I couldn't do that. So I made
Okay.
3 charts only. That was top creators, job creators, and I could do. I mean, the banks who are creating jobs, right? So top 10 banks
Okay.
and out of all the states, who all 10 top banks who had given the maximum loans, I mean defaulters, like who was all were the maximum defaulters for those banks. So top 10 was there. We could make and the states which had what was that? Let me come back. I It slipped off my mind.
That's okay. That's okay. You have emailed it to us, right?
No, I haven't emailed as yet. I wanted more to, to understand the data, and then I could make better and then send it back to you.
All
So
right.
I
All right.
thought
So
once,
let me, yes. So let's do it tomorrow. Okay. Everybody, if you could, whatever 3, 4 charts you've thought about, just keep them ready for tomorrow, and tomorrow we'll discuss that as well.
so we couldn't put. I mean, I couldn't put the slicer on it because it was a I mean, for a year, and they were. I mean, not many years, but it was just for 1 year data.
That's okay. You don't have to have a slicer for date.
Yeah. So that. Okay, let me think about it more, and then I can send back tomorrow.
Yes. Yes. All right. Okay, let's come back to this sheet of dashboard where I've created this dashboard of top 5 customers, the bottom 5 customers. Then we had spoken about the trend and we had spoken about the products. So this was one part of it that we had to work on the technical part and create charts. Apart from this, remember we had done this thing that our dashboard should consist of a title should be there, the logo should be there, and let's say icon is there. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit about the beautification part of our dashboard also. Do you think we should have these grid lines around in the dashboard?
Nah, it looks more of an Excel.
It looks more of an Excel, right? So what we typically do in order to first of all putting a dashboard title, couple of things you can do, two ways you can do it. One is that okay, if you are going to select a bunch of cells and you can merge the cells to the home, merge cells. Once you've merged the cells, it becomes like a one big box, and then we can put the title over here. Sorry, I'm regional analysis. Okay, so this we had done a regional analysis over here. We can put in all caps. Once we put this, then we can again make sure in terms of alignment. We make it center aligned, or you want to make it left aligned. You can increase the size of the font that you're using. You can change the font size, font type. You can change the font color in the backend. Now, how do you pick what should be the color? Let's say if I want to give a color to the background, or I want to give a color to this, or I want to give a color in the background of a chart. You must have seen dashboard with various colors, right? Yes,
Yeah, very bright and attractive.
very bright, very attractive color combinations people use. So I don't know about your education background. I'm an engineer, and trust me, I don't think engineers are very creative. At least I'm not. And it was very tough for me to do a justice to a good color combinations. In fact, for about, you wouldn't believe it, but for 2 years, my company, people had banned me to interfere in the color part and the design. I was pretty bad at it. Then I got introduced to this website called Coolers, and beautiful website, amazing, a game changer in terms of my line of work, which is visualization, in which it not only gives you the the codes that we are supposed to use for the colors, but in fact helps people to understand what is a good color palette going to be, like which color goes best with what. So how do you guys decide the color combination? So let's say if I'm working for a particular client, the colors that we are going to use for our presentations, for our dashboard, for our reporting should be the color palette of the client, right? Can I request everyone to mute, please? Thank you. And if I'm doing for an internal, then instead of color dependent on what you feel like putting in the slide today, make a template for yourself or have a color palette for yourself that is going to be based on your company's color. So always do this thing that it should not be that, okay, today there is one set of colors being used, second day there's another set of colors being used. Try to have a consistency in your colors. So this website gives us a very good idea about, okay, which color goes best with what. It gives you the entire color palette. Once you've decided the color palette, let's say this is the color palette I want to go with. If I need more than 5 colors, then I can go on the dots, click on open in generator. And it gives me the palette. Now, the best part is if I wanted another in-between color with the gray and the green, I can add and create that new color. Or if there's a color, let's say I don't want these 2 colors in my palette at all, then I can go ahead and delete the colors as well. So I can go and say, I don't want this color, I don't want this color, and I can generate more colors in between. So that's what I love about this website. Very user-friendly, very fast. Now, once you have decided with the color palette, then you can select this color code. This is called a hex code for the colors, and then put it in your Excel workbooks. Now, how do you do that? Let's say I'm going to have, since my theme has been blue throughout, so I'm not going to change the color of my charts because everything is blue. It's blue background and the blue charts are there. So I'm just going to type in, say, blue. And now it will give me all the themes related to blue. Okay. So if I wanted to, let's say if I wanted to pick this theme and I want to give this as a background color, then I can select it. I've copied the color hex code. I can go back. I can select all the cells, go to this place of background, go to this more colors, go to custom, and you see the hex over here, it's white. FFF is for white, zeros are for black. Remove this, paste this, and click OK. So automatically this becomes my background color. Now, depending on the background color, you would also need to understand what is a good font color. So either it could be this one or this one which you want to use for your font color. So let's say if I wanted to pick this grayish tone for the font color, I can go select over here. Again, the same thing. I'm changing the font color, more colors, and custom, and put my color over here, and OK. Okay, so that really, makes us, it becomes easier to have a good, good looking dashboard as well. Same thing you can apply on your charts, background of your charts. You can right click, you can say, you can put format the chart areas, not the format plot areas, and the plot areas also work with the colors. Right now it's at white, automatic, it's white over here. But let's say if I wanted to go with this color, so I can copy this, I can go back, same process, more colors, custom, and put the hex code. And you want to increase or decrease the transparency of the colors, then you can do that. Is this clear?
Yeah, Ishan.
Yes.
Yes, Sushant.
Right?
Yes.
So this is one. So this website is called Coolers.
I have one question regarding this.
Yes, yes.
Can we use this trick over this barcodes or bar charts and column charts? Means basically on graphs.
Yeah. So if you wanted, yes, absolutely. So let's say if I wanted to put this color, I wanted this blue to be the color of my the bars, right? So see, in charts, what happened, whatever you click on and you do a right click, that particular item becomes the last format item. So if I go to format data series, now I'm working on what? I'm working on my column or the bars or whatever, the points that we have. And again, 1 second. So format data series, let's say solid fill. This is a color. I'll go to more colors. It'll work in the same manner. You see the colors changed?
Yeah. Thank you.
So like this, you can change the colors. So it might look little cumbersome. So what you can also do, let's say I've got 2 bar charts. So if I've done the coloring formatting on 1 bar chart, you might want to copy paste and just change the source of the data. So that all these things that I've done, you don't have to redo it again and again. Understood? So that reduces your time of formatting also.
So how would you do that? Can you tell me?
So for example, this is the chart and it's all ready to be used. Let me just change this color also. So let's say this is the chart, it's ready. Sorry, I'm never satisfied with my work, especially when it comes to this coloring and all those things. So this is ready, so I can copy it. And what I was saying is I can paste it, right? So I've created a copy of it. Now I wanted bottom 5 customers also in the same way.
Yeah.
So I can right click on it, select data. And over here, you see the data, you just click over here. This is not allowing you to do it. Probably because these are coming from our pivots, but ideally you should be able to just go to this select data and change this customer, just change the data range. So this is not happening. What could be the other way of doing it? Change data sources.
Can we select more than 2 charts and apply simultaneously? Just one chart works at one time.
Yeah, let's just try once. See, everything went blank. You would not be able to do it.
Maybe because this is connected.
Yeah, it's just because it is coming from 2 different pivots. So it's not allowing me to do it, but otherwise, you can easily change it.
Okay, we can try. Yeah.
Ishan, can't we use
Yes.
format painter button over the charts?
I don't know if it works. Let's see. It's few things I've never tried myself. Format painter works more on cells rather than charts, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, it's work
even
on
I guess-
words and all this, not in chart.
See, it goes blank. It works more on data side rather than charts. See,
Yeah.
this is disabled right now, so it won't. But there must be a way. We'll figure it out. Okay, so this is for colors, right? I'll put the name of the website over here. And this really helps. Another thing is also there that you can pick the color palette from photo. This is also very interesting. So for example, like I was working with one of the clients on HIV needles. They had done a whole survey and all those things. So they had shared few photographs that they were going to put in their presentation. So using that photos that they put in presentation, I decided what should be the color, since the organization for NGO, so there was no fixed colors they would have used as a company. So it was from a photo palette that I picked the charts and created my own chart palette, and then, color palette, and then worked with it. So this is also pretty interesting of a pick palette from a photo. It creates a palette by itself. So I'm just going to give this website in the chat window, but I'll also put this in the LMS, all the important links that we are discussing over here. Next thing is, you don't want, especially since this is Excel, it's got lot many columns and lot many rows. You don't want people to be working, outside certain area. So what I typically like to do is, when I've created my dashboard, everything is ready, I can select all the columns and I can hide them. So simply right click and hide. Okay, so this becomes one single area, and nobody can go towards the left or nobody can go downwards. So I will do the same process. I'm going to select and I'm going to right click and hide it. So this becomes one single area of focus of attention for the end user, and he and she will not be, tempted also to go to the left or go to the bottom of your area. So you can do this. Then, yeah, Sanjeet, you have a question?
No.
Okay. Next thing is, if I want to insert a logo, how do you do that? We are going to go to design, and over here in illustrations, we have pictures from where we can insert the logo. So I can click over here, this design. Let's say I put Ivy's logo over here. Now, whenever you are working with the pictures, right? Whenever you're working with pictures, the very important part is, I don't know why it came so distorted, but whenever you work with pictures, never use the handles like this. Very bad. What you do is you ruin the entire aspect ratio of the pictures. So whenever you're working with images, always use the corners to enlarge it or to reduce it. Okay. Guys, can you please mute? A lot of background noise is there today. Please mute. Thank you. So over here, you can have your logo. Anything else that you've noticed in dashboards or in any kind of visualizations that you're using these days, or as an end user you are coming across?
So we can adjust transparency as well for these pictures or for the graphs if required.
Yeah. So, Naveen, it would be more when it's like a background picture that you've given to your dashboards, then you want to reduce it. Yes. But, it's a personal choice. I don't like to give a background picture to my dashboards at all. I would want pictures to be all around it to make it attractive, but background picture, I personally don't like it because I think it's very distracting and it moves the user away from the main thing that he or she should be focusing on. So personally, I don't like it, but what he was talking about, I'll just tell you. Let's say you picked up a picture, you created an area on which you're going to impose your charts. Once you've done that, that image cannot be the primary focus of your end user. So we would need to make it shift to the background. So once you selected your picture, on the top, you will see picture format. In this, what you can do is go to the transparency and you can reduce it. Reduce it in a way that only thing that this gives you, look and feel is there, that yes, let's say, when you're talking about banks or when you're talking about loans, any relevant picture as per the dashboard main intent is, you can put in the background and make it very, very transparent so that it doesn't interfere with the main element, which is charts. But this is the way you increase or decrease the transparency. Select the picture. On the top, you will see picture format. And over here, you can have transparency. Okay. What else is there?
Else, if we want to match the color of this, outside border of the picture, then we can go to artist.
That you can't. Not really.
No,
No.
I think we can go to corrections. One
These will kind of,
No,
you know,
corrections. We can go to
even
corrections.
won't work. What correction does is, this is not, it's just exposure level is becoming different.
Yeah.
So this is not a great idea. So if you want to change the picture, like logos definitely won't change. Logo is a logo, right? You can't change that. You can ask for a, the PNG formats of the pictures so that they don't have their own white backgrounds to merge in your thing. But other than that, for logos, you can't do anything. However, what I was forcing you guys to think about is, right now, when any form of information is shared with us, do you see logos? Not logos, icons. Everything is associated with icons these days. Yes?
Yes, yes.
You guys have seen the icons?
Yeah.
In infographics, any
Yes,
website that
yes.
you open, even for you, I'm sure Genpact website also I open, I'll see a lot of icons. Usage of icons is very heavy these days. So how do you get these icons? So for icons, again, there's a very good website. It is called Flaticons, and all these websites are free of cost. So that's why, it's even fun to work with them. All you have to do is a login in this case, and that should not be problem. It's not, it doesn't cost anything. So just create a login. And why I want the login to be done is, like Naveen was talking about the colors changing and all. So for a logo, you can't change a color. Even for the background color, we have to be very, very careful. We can't change the background color of the logo. But if I wanted to show, let's say, regional dashboard, it's a regional dashboard. So I want a picture of a region. So you type in, all these images come up, whichever image you like. Let's say you want a colored image or you want a black and white image. You can pick and choose all these images. And the best part is, once you've picked it also, then also you can change the color of it. But you have to do a login for that. So for example, let's say I pick this image or pick this image. So I can open it. Once you've opened it, you can click on edit icon. And it also gives you, if you saw at the bottom, it is giving you 3 more variant of it. Like this could be another variant that you want to go with, or you want to go with a black variant. Let's say this is what I selected, and I want to now again change the color. Then I can go to edit. I can go to shapes to give a certain shape. If I want it inside a circle, or if I wanted just a simple icon, I can remove the shape. And I can go to colors and color again using, let's say, we have that palette, right? I forgot which palette I used.
It's okay. I mean, we understand that.
It's below.
This one.
This one.
Right?
one,
Let's say
yeah.
this is the color I want for the icons, or I can have it, since it's a darker theme, I'll go with this color. So over here, I can go back to the Flaticons, and in the color, I can click over here. I can choose a color, and I can put my hex code out over here also. So it merges. Once this is done, click on the download. In download, then pick a PNG file and pick the maximum resolution. Only thing this website does ask you to do whenever you're using their Flaticons, they want you to give credit to it, and it makes sense. So you will see dashboards, and a very small line you can put in a small, place in a small icon, like a smaller font size, where you can give credit to this website. Since this is also downloaded, you can click on pictures, insert this in from this device. It will be sitting in my downloads. This is the PNG. Like I said, whenever you're working with images, always use the corner, never the sides. Once this is done, you can place it over here. So if I'm talking about regional sales analysis, just giving a simple icon again adds on to the beauty of it. Right? So let's say we have top 5 customers. Again, we could have put a small, icon of a customer over there. If you're talking about trend or sales, anything related to the chart, anything related to the main topic, we can pick icons from here. So this is also a wonderful website called Flaticons. Any questions around this?
Not all clear so far.
No, Shani.
No.
Not
Clear, right? Okay, hold on. So this is related to your design part of it. And another thing is, if you don't want to, you can group all charts. Yes, Lalit, you can group all the charts, but grouping and all just helps you to make sure that if I have to move something, it moves like one single entity and I'm not, let's say everything is fixed over here. I don't know, charts, right click. So if you want to group it as one single entity, the only benefit I get is that if I want to do any kind of movement laterally or up and down, then I don't have to worry about this spacing again. So if I move one, all of them are going to move, right? Provided they remain, I have selected the group. So if I move, the entire group moves. So that's the only advantage of making it as a group, but I don't think so that even the colors format shape that would be working with the if I give this, nothing is going to happen. All right, Lalit. So the advantage comes only in the layouting part of making it a group. And then if you want to ungroup, you can ungroup it. And you can also pick icons from here. When you go to insert and illustrations, there are some icons that Microsoft Excel also has. Good icons, good number of icons. They have, divided into how do you want it as occupations, as process, as sports. And if you click on any one of them, a lot of icons are there. In fact, over here again, you can change the color also. So for example, if I want this one, so I can click on insert. Once I've got this icon, on the top, I'll have this graphic format and I can change the colors. So I can change the color to, let's say, orange, like this, we can have some color combinations. Right? Any questions? Little bit of reflections and all those things, if you want to work with, do it. But I am not a huge fan of giving too many effects, because that just takes away the person from the technical side and puts them completely on the design side. Can we extract image or a logo? Can we extract image or a logo from an image? That you can, but that would be more on a the graphical guys work. I'm typically, I would not do it myself. I would delegate it to someone to do it for me. So you would require some tools, some softwares to do this part, but I'm sure you can. Okay. All right. What else is left in dashboard? Snipping, yes, snipping you can do, but snipping, can you do a neat and clean cutting out of it?
That
Snipping
depends.
can only do
That
cutting.
depends.
Yeah, so snipping you can cut, but what I was asking is, like, snipping is more of a rectangular thing that you do. Can you do a cutting out of it, like as per your shape and size? That I don't think so, because I use snipping tool and I know it's like a rectangular thing I can do.
Can we use PowerPoint for this?
PowerPoint for what? Oh, for removing the
Design
backgrounds.
purpose.
For removing the backgrounds, basically you're asking.
I think so.
Okay, so what happens in PowerPoint? We are becoming a design team rather than data team now. So, since we are, talking about this, so I think what you are referring to is, let's say if I have a image, right? Trying to think of a so for example, I think what you are asking is, or are referring to is, for example, if I copy this and I paste it on my PowerPoint. And if there again, if you go to your picture format, over here, something like remove background comes. So if you can pick and choose, like automatically it has decided, okay, these are my main elements and I want to remove certain things. But if you want to remove certain areas, so I can say mark areas to remove. And let's say if I want to remove this guy from here also. Oh. Something like this I can, but this is not getting removed only. No, this is not getting removed. Discard all changes, keep. But this is the process. I've used this thing. So if you say, okay, if I don't want this and you make that area, see it's now getting removed. You can create areas and you can say, okay, this is the area that I want to remove. And if I say keep all changes, so that part is gone. I think this is what you meant, right?
Yes. Little bit.
Yeah, so you can do that by putting the pictures in PowerPoint, going to the picture format and remove background, and you can pick and choose the elements you don't want. This is all like, but this is all time consuming. It requires some kind of finesse in your work. For me, I don't think so. I will, I don't want to spend my time over here. Okay, we would also like to disable and hide our elements like scroll bar, sheet tabs, formula bars. Yes, absolutely. So, anything that makes it look like a design product and not distracting with the typical Excel. So getting rid of the grid lines, since I've given a very dark color, so you can't see your grid lines, but ideally we will go to view and get rid of the grid lines. Keep the grid lines while you're doing the layout, because that really helps alignment wise, it helps size wise, it helps. Once that is done, you can go to view, get rid of the grid lines. This ribbon is not required, so you can simply right click on it and you can collapse the ribbon. When you want it, you can bring it back. And all the sheets, including your summaries, your data, everything, ideally we would hide it. We want only one person to be focusing on the dashboard and nothing else a person should be focusing on. Clear?
Ishani, one question over here. Normally,
Yes.
the problem what I face in creating a chart from Excel and then pasting it into PPTs, the color combination gets changed. So what if I want the same color combination to be reflected on the PPT itself rather than having a different?
So,
You need to paste special. Yeah, it used to happen if you're normal copy pasting. But if
so
you're doing
anytime, it's not just PPT. From any place when you're copying, pasting, in fact, it gives you a choice that you want to keep the source color or you want to keep the
yeah.
the destination color. That will always be a choice that you get between all these products, right? So if I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste over here, it is coming with the original, but you do get a choice when you right click and you put it, when you do get a choice that you want to keep a destination color or do you want to keep the source color. So in that point, just decide that.
And also, how can we embed this data into PPT? I know this is PPT stuff.
I know this is PPT, but you don't need to embed. So one thing is there, I would never ask you or I would never advise you to paste your charts like an image. The disadvantage of that is that it won't change if anything is changing in my Excel file. But when you copy paste, it works beautifully because it's all connected. If I right click and I can, if I click on edit data, automatically it will open the Excel in which you're working. So any changes that are happening in my Excel, that gets reflected in my PPT as long as you've copied and pasted it and not copied and made it an image out of it.
Yeah,
I'm
it
not sure,
distorted
but
as well.
this option does not work with me because even if I'm changing the data, it does not show on the PPT. And if I do the edit on the PPT itself, it opens an altogether different Excel.
So are you copy pasting?
Yes, I'm copying pasting. Yeah.
How come it doesn't work? This is this has been year long, like it's been a very age old thing. It's not even
Yes.
new.
Yes, in fact, I have
edit. So like edit data is there, edit data in Excel is there. This is, relatively new choice. Before we only get edit data. And depending what you're doing, the only time it creates a new Excel, see, it opened itself. I had closed this particular file. And your data is also connected. So let's say you made some changes in your Excel, close your PPT and open it again, it should get refreshed. Kind of 100% surety on that. It should. So I don't know why it is not happening. You will have to, show me your work to understand, okay, where is the disconnect? Because typically all these tools are, that's the best part, they are all interlinked to each other. The
Yes,
only time,
in the past I have done these functions, but in current process it does not allow me. Somehow another Excel, despite the fact that I have opened that Excel already, it shows up a new Excel, like the way it shows right now. Showed it right now.
Yeah, the only time it would do that is, let's say, when I insert a chart, a fresh chart in my PowerPoint, then it would create a dummy Excel file for me and create the elements, and I can just go and change, and then automatically again it changes in my PowerPoint. Like you can see the changes are happening over here. That's the only time it will create a new file for me, which is linked. I don't have to save it. I don't have to do anything. I'll just close it, and whenever I want to change the data, I can again right click, edit the data, and it comes back. So somewhere there's a disconnect. See, I didn't save, I didn't do anything. I can right click, click on edit data, and again, it's the same ABCD that I've got.
Okay, maybe that's a question for any other time.
Yes. Okay. All right. So any questions in your dashboard? So don't have this thing in your mind that dashboard is only through pivots or through slices. That's not necessarily true. We might have data sets which are not at all pivot friendly. So over there, we cannot use pivot tables. We might have to use certain other, type of Excel functions and all. Right? Any questions on dashboards?
No, Shwati.
No, we are good.
Okay.
No, Ishani, everything is
Now
good.
let's, okay, good. So now let's talk about other elements that go on your dashboard. Like we will do some text functions in which, the $ concept problem that was there, that will also go away. And another thing, have you heard about this thing called sparklines? Has anybody heard about sparklines?
Yes.
No.
Somebody said yes. So if you could explain, what is a sparkline? Somebody did say yes. Sparklines? No? So when you are creating all these summaries, right? Sometimes we don't want to create a chart. We don't want a very big image. We want a chart to be created, either a line chart or a column chart within this cell itself. Okay. So for example,
one
let's
cell,
say,
if we want to show the progress, so we can do through the spark lines.
Yeah, that was
Absolutely
where
correct.
even my next question for you.
Exactly. So how do we create it? Let's say if I created a pivot table, and in this pivot table, I have put, let me put, let's say, the products, and then let's put some sales value, and then let's put some, okay, this is not working today for me, and then let me put some date. Guys, please mute. I don't know why, but today is a lot of background noise. Please mute. Now, this thing that I'm showing over here, I don't want to create a chart and then do a comparison. I want to see the trend of the product. I want to see the trend of product in one single cell. A representation of a graph in a single cell is basically your spark lines. So how does it work? If I have this product as pin, sorry. If I have this product as pin, and instead of showing these numbers, I want a spark line to be there. So I can go to the empty cell where I want to create that graphic, go to insert. So over here you have slicers, you have timeline, and right next to it, you will see spark lines. So if I click on line, so it's asking me to choose a range. Since this graph is in one single cell, so don't make sure you don't have, a lot of you don't put tables. So let's say I want to see the trend of Aspen in 5, 6, 7. So what is my data range? This row. And location is which I've selected, J5, click OK, and it gets created. Right? Then the best part is it's not that I have to, work on each and every row. I can simply copy paste and it is giving me the visualization. So anytime the data changes, let's say if I make this as 25,000, my spark lines will change just like how it would have changed in a graph. So these are called spark lines. If I don't want the line, if I wanted to change it to a column chart, I can do that. Okay, I can have markers on it. Let's say if I wanted to change the high point and the low point, I want to color them, I can do that. I want to change the marker colors. Let's say high point, I want to make it as a nice green color, and the lowest point, I want to make it as a red color. So I can make that happen. So these are the graphical representation of your data in a one particular cell.
This is a very cool feature.
Ishani, can
It's
you
a-
please repeat?
Sure, I will.
Yes,
Can you,
Ishani.
Ishani, can you take a single column data and then show us like something on that? As you're
Okay.
showing it on, as you show it, showing as a
Understood, yeah.
comparative data, right?
Yeah. So for example, if I wanted to create a spark line to compare the products in 2005. Okay, so
Yeah,
that
yeah.
would be insert. So the process is again insert. I can put a column chart. Line chart won't make sense over here. So I'll prefer a column chart. Select it. It's in G15. I click OK and this chart is created. Right? But again, visual problem. Typically,
Yeah,
I
I
would
want,
not look like this and look at the chart at the bottom.
yeah.
Typically,
And-
horizontally is what is comfortable to our eyes.
Yeah, I have seen in one dashboard where the product was names were given, and then
Uh-huh.
in front of it there were bar graphs on each row, as comparing the products on itself.
Correct. So I could reverse this thing. Then it's easier on the eyes and better looking. So what I mean is, I can copy this and transpose it. I can, right? Now, if you ask me to create that, I don't mind it. But vertically, I think visually it's very, you don't focus it that way.
Yeah,
So now if I create it, then it's fine. I can pick from here to here and create. So this is fine. And then you can copy and paste. Right? What you can also do, it's not necessary, you have to show everything. So if you can, let's say, you want to hide, if you can, I'm not saying all the time this will be a possibility. Oh, it doesn't like hiding. So this is there. Then another thing is, in Sparkline only, you can play around with the colors, how you want the colors. We've already spoken about high points and the low points over here. So again, doing the high and the low point. So high point I marked as green, low point is marked as red. So this is done. Plus you can work with the axis also. So right now it is automatically taking for each spark line. Ideally, if I'm showing more than one spark line in a cell, I would want it to be same for all spark lines. Now, when I did the same, now you can even have a comparison between the years of the same product, how it has behaved. Like something which was higher in 2005 was little below, but it's not very bad, but still went a little lower, and another product was higher. And then in 2007, another product got higher, and then there's a significant decrease in one of the products. You can also see the product number 6. It was blue, and then suddenly it became the lowest, and in the next year it kind of disappeared only. So all these kind of visually we can do it. Can we add data labels? It's not advisable. Reason, it's one single cell where you're trying to put a graph. If you put anything more than just a graph, then it looks bad.
Also,
Okay.
Ishani, can we also, take a base data and then do a comparison rather than, so for instance, if I'm looking for a comparison that says that any amount that is greater than 2000, should show a bar graph. So can we put a baseline over there in representing the graph?
You can, but you have to understand whenever you create any visuals, right? Whether it's a spark line or it's a chart, you will end up with a big summary. And from the bigger summary, if you want to extract something and create it, we do that. You understand? For example, if I'm saying that if you're saying, okay, anything greater than 20,000 should be in this graph, then if this is my bigger, the summary, I'll have to put some kind of formulas and functions on it. I can put an if function that, okay, if this is greater than 20, then consider it, otherwise leave it as blank.
Okay.
So once you've created such summary, from them, again, you create graphs.
Yes,
but I understand what you're asking is, in the spark lines only have a condition.
yes, we can do that through conditional formatting, but then it's
No,
very
you can't
limited.
even do it through conditional formatting. See, conditional formatting only will put a color coding based on the values. It is not going to make anything disappear. So it's not that if something is less than 20, you can say, okay, we can probably put a very light color or, white color kind of a thing. So it merges with the background, but you can't make it go away. It still will have its placeholder in the entire graph.
Okay.
So that is an issue. Like you see, there is a placeholder, even though in the last cell, the values have gone down to 0, but it's not that it's going to go away. Even if I remove this, the positions are still there.
Okay.
Okay. So that is what I was trying to say. You can't make it go away unless you use Excel again to make another summary from it. And then everything basically have to be connected. And everything has to be dynamically connected. Got it? So even these spark lines that we spoke about, let's say this spark line, like I have created from this can be, like Gunjan was asking, can it be an element of your dashboard? Absolutely, yes. We do have spark lines as a part of our dashboards. Okay, so let me try one thing. Let's say over here, let me open up the rows a little bit. Okay, I've hidden it. Few things that you never think, could be. Okay, now it opened up. So what I wanted to try was, instead of bringing the entire summary, if I am able to bring only a part of it. So if I want to bring, let's say, Aspen, zoom in a little bit on this. I'm going to change the color. And let's say if I say equal to this cell, no, it won't come. So you will have to bring the table and the spark lines in. So my advice, yes, you can use spark lines. Definitely it is being used in dashboard. That's the reason I spoke about it also. But at the same time, don't put a very big table over here to just show the spark lines, because then tables can be there in dashboard, but don't make it data centric. Like there should be some form of graphical representation of the data that we have. Not complete, all tables cannot be there. So spark lines are there as your dashboard. Text is there in the dashboard. We'll do that. We'll keep on adding to this dashboard. Conditional formatting is there in our dashboards. All these things we put in our dashboards. All right, Gunjan. So yes, we can put the sparkline elements as in a part of the dashboard, but we have to have the tables along with it. Tiny line charts can be called. Tiny line charts we can call. Mohit, what is this? Not sure. Can you try one pasting as linked picture? How do you do that? Just help me out. I did a long time back where I got a, so what he's talking about, and I just correct me if you think I'm thinking about something else. So one thing is that you're copy pasting something, and one thing you can do in Excel, which is a little, it's not that straightforward as far as I can remember, is that you can kind of do a mirroring of the image in some other sheet in the current sheet. And anytime that changes, this also changes. So it's not a chart, it's kind of a picture that we put over here of that image. So it could be a area of your Excel also that you're projecting over here as an image. Gunjan, you're talking about the same thing?
Yes, Isani, kind of the same thing. If we try copying the cell in which we have created this sparkline and trying to paste that thing over here as a linked
Mhm.
picture, I think that would resolve the issue.
Okay, let's see. So copy and find the dashboard. Where is that option? Paste
The last
link.
one, the last one.
Oh, link picture. Oh, yes, it has worked. But then we'll have to do this for all, right? One by one. Correct?
Hopefully.
Hopefully. I was hoping the answer is no, not. We can do it automatically. Let's try to change few numbers to see if it updates itself. Yeah. So we don't have a cell, like you can see, this is not a cell, it's like a snippet of your image of Excel over here. So yeah, that solves our issue. Good. Everybody understood what we did over here?
Yes, Ishani.
Yes.
Right. But then yes, you are creating a snippet one by one and doing it. Little more work, but you know, trust me, dashboard has a lot of work. It's not easy to create dashboards. It's not, it's very straightforward and easy work. Okay. Okay, let's talk about the problem that you guys faced when you had dollars in your data. What did you do? Anyone who tried to clean it up?
No.
Nobody tried to clean it up.
I tried.
I
And
tried to find change text into number, but I
that
couldn't
won't
find.
work. Text cannot be, see, text can only be changed into number if it's a pure number being stored as a text. As in, this is not a text that I can convert into number because it has a dollar sign. So in no way I can just go to the home and say, you know what, make it a number. It won't happen. Even though
Yeah.
you can click over here, nothing is going to happen.
Yeah,
Because
that's
there's
what
a
I
text
thought.
component in it.
Yeah,
right?
that is what then I thought.
Right. So what you can do over here is
Delimiter. Text to column. Text to column. Delimiter.
you
Or
can
replace. Or replace maybe.
yes,
Find and
absolutely.
replace.
Find and replace.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you can do multiple type of treatment. One is your text to column. How do you use text to column? You will go to your data tab. In data tab, you have text to column and you will click on it. You will have delimited. You can go to next. And what it does, it converts the content of one single cell into multiple columns based on some delimiter. Now, what is a delimiter? It could be any character by which you want to break the entire text. It could be a comma, it could be an underscore, it could be an @ anything. It could be a hash symbol. So in our case, we want to break it up using a space. So you can select space, and if it's not given in a typical choice, you can pick others and write down the symbol over here. And we click on finish and it's done. Right, but it will create multiple columns, and the things that you don't want, you have to delete it. So it's a little extra work for getting one single component. Another way could be
Or we
that
can
I
do
say-
Control E as well.
Control E.
So you need to type dollar in the B column and then entire cell will get converted to.
Okay, that also you can do. Yes, I was coming to that only, but I like this part also. You have to put what, 769,
Yeah,
right?
only 769.
And then Control E. And
Yeah, if there
I
if
don't
there are
have-
multiple
yeah, I don't-
rows.
Yes, I don't have anything in my rows. If I would have, let's keep the same format for it to work. So it's nothing but like flash fill.
It works.
So I have to select it, you guys, right?
Yeah.
So it works, yes. That is there, or multiple treatments are there. So you can select this, You can simply use your control H, which is nothing and replace, and you can say I'm looking for a $sign and a space, and I don't want to replace it with anything, and do a replace all. That also works. So multiple things we can
Ishani,
do.
can you
To get
please
rid of it.
repeat that
Yeah,
control E
second one.
part?
Yeah.
Yeah, the second one.
The control E.
Yeah.
So that is the famous thing, huh?
Yeah.
So, so what is basically, see, I don't mind shortcuts, but I would always say that when you know a shortcut, it's good, but try to understand what is actually running in the backend. So what control E is basically something called a flash fill, right? Sometimes Excel, what you do if you have a bunch of things and you're typing in another column using the part of it, it automatically detects a pattern in your work. And once it detects a pattern in the work, it will give you an option that, okay, is this what you want? And it, you can do a flash fill over there. Another way is that you like what we are imposing Excel to learn. So what we are telling Excel, okay, this is there, and I'm doing 769, right? Now, if I do 45, so right now it's not showing me automatically, but typically it would detect that there is a pattern I'm following while typing. So right now it did not do. Since it's not doing, we can select this area and do a control E. So whatever you've done in the first cell, so you have to teach Excel what to do. So whenever you've done it in the first cell, it kinds of follows the same pattern and works on the data. That's what control E is.
Control E.
Control E.
If
And
we
the
need to do it manually, where that option is?
Manually, as in? From
like,
this tab.
Yeah, that's
Control E, flash fill should be somewhere here, somewhere in these choices. Flash fill, this one.
okay, cool. This is something new. Yeah.
Yeah. The Excel kind of amazes us all the time.
Ishani, one last question from me. I somehow messed up my options in Excel. And you know that option in file option, there's an option, go to file and option.
Yeah.
I have messed up something in here, and everything that is a number is showing as a date. I'm not sure what just happened.
I don't think so. It's because of your option that it happens. Are you talking about every time it's happening in all the Excel workbooks or few workbooks?
In fact, all of the workbooks which I have already saved in my system. If I open a new one, it does not happen.
So it's not the matter of you've messed up any option. See, dates, if you think about, are what? Dates for Excel is what? Text or a number?
It's a number.
It's a number, and it's stored as a number, right? So what happens a lot of times when you're typing, let's say date, and then you're typing a number next to it, Excel again uses its own intelligence and converts that into a date format. So all you need to do is wherever you're looking at dates and they're supposed to be in numbers, just select that data. For example, this is the date it's showing up. Just select that column or set of cells. Just go to the home tab and convert in the format into a number. That's it.
But for me, it's just the opposite. Any number is showing as a date. Especially
number is showing as a date, right?
Yeah, yes, and it happens only with the formula output only, not the base data. So if I'm using a VLOOKUP and getting a 0 output from the VLOOKUP, it's showing as a 0 January 1900. So
just convert it, just format it as a number format, you should be fine.
Okay.
Just do that. Just select the whole column where the dates are showing up, but it's supposed to be a number, right?
But it's happening all the time. Every time I open that Excel, I do the changes, but then next time I open it, it shows me as a date.
It can be there is some formula in that particular tab, and it's that's the reason it's showing that 1900. So whenever the number is 0, it you have put the formula VLOOKUP, and it's always pick the same this 1900 which you have mentioned.
I can check because I've not faced this issue that it comes up again and again. So I can check. I can Google for it and see if there is something in options that we can change and you don't have to redo it again and again. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll
actually,
check that.
the same data like I get long back, then I have like as Ishani told, I selected that particular data and converted it to the date format, and it's like then it's fine.
Yeah, but what he's saying is that he does that and it, when he opens it again, it goes back to the old format.
So-
That should not happen.
Right.
That
So
should
this-
not happen.
this
If that is
also
happening,
happen
that's
when-
not good.
This also happen when we give reference to any blank cell as well. I have also faced it.
See, basically blank could be a blank. It could be, you have that in settings that how do you want to represent a blank cell? It could be a hyphen, it could be a zero. How do you want it? So anytime you're putting any value over there, if you're putting if it's a blank cell coming out, but the setting is that it's going to be a zero, it will turn itself into a date then. I think that's why this thing is coming. Let me try to figure it out. Okay. I'll have to do a little bit of Googling over here. All right. So for tomorrow, right? What I want is, so we've finished the dashboard, but I want to talk about some more components, like few text functions we'll talk about. So one way of doing this cleanup, this was very straightforward cleanup. We use Control H, which was find and replace. We use Control E, which was flash fill. Then we used text to column, right? But if its data is not very straightforward cleaning, then we need something called text functions also. So we'll talk about text functions followed by conditional formatting. And those things are also used as a part of your dashboard. So we'll try to integrate the assignment that I had given. I'll try to integrate all these new elements and try to create a quick dashboard on it. All right, so tomorrow we're going to do text functions and conditional formatting. Sounds good?
Yeah, great.
So look at the data again. If you've not looked at it previously, please look at it today so that tomorrow when we're discussing, you're well aware of what the data is and we are not spending too much time in understanding the data.
Right, Ishani.
Yes, Ishan.
Right? All right. Any other question? I know I missed one question that was asked by Marin. Marin had asked me, is there a way to protect the cells in your Excel so that nobody can edit it? And the answer is yes, we can. How do you protect it? Very simple. In order to protect the cells, you select the entire sheet, you right click, you get something called, format cell. In format cell, you will see when you go to the last tab, which is protection, you will see it's all locked. So you can unlock all the cells, whatever column or the set of cells or one single cell, whatever you need to lock it, select that and then select it again, go to the format cell and lock these cells. So first what you're doing is selecting the entire sheet, unlocking all the cells, then you're selecting a specific set of cells which you want to lock. Once you've locked that, then we go to this part called review, and we can protect the sheet. So once you click on protect sheet, then you can say that allow all the users on this sheet to select the lock cells on the unlock cells. Allow the users to work on unlock cells. So whatever is locked, a person cannot touch anymore. So let's say if I give a password. Now you will see when I move my cursor, I can move in all the columns, but column E gets skipped completely. You can't even click on it anymore because these are locked. So anytime you want to unlock it, same process, you go to review, unlock the worksheet, put the password. That's how you are going to lock it for others. I did not share any data.
Ishani, can you please take us through once again to lock the cells?
Sure. Very simple process. So first step is going to be, let's take a new sheet, select the entire Excel sheet, right click, format cells, go to the last tab, which is protection.
Okay.
Unlock everything.
Got it. Okay.
Then second part would be to select the cells which we want to lock. Again, right click and same area, format cells, And this time I'm going to lock these cells. So unlock all, lock the specific cells. Then you go to review and then protect sheet. Uncheck this part of lock cells, and whatever you want to allow user to do, just check that part and give a password.
We can lock the cells which are referring to some formulas as well, right?
Referring to a formula is not a issue. The typically cells you should lock is the way which has a formula.
Okay.
In sense, right? Because you don't want
If
anybody
column
to
D
touch your
has the
formulas.
formula for the entire sheet, if multiple people are working on it, I wanted to lock column D. I can go ahead and lock column D, which has formula in it, right?
Yes, because I don't want people to touch the formulas.
Correct.
Right? Other for values. So like I have done it for my team. There's certain calculations these guys have to do on a daily basis. So I have given them area. Okay, this is the area where you put your input. And the output area is all logged. So they can't mess up my formulas again and again. So input they have to change and look at the output, which is logged. They just pick the values from there and work from it. But you can't copy paste. Remember that. They can't copy paste from that. Since they have to input in another software, so it's fine in my team that you don't allow it to copy paste.
Got it.
Okay.
Thanks.
There was one more question. Please convert. So Raj, basically I've told you, I've sent you the link for the sign up. Once you've signed up, I do get it over here. I will get it over here and I can quickly, give you the access. So it will be done today for sure. And tomorrow, if anybody did not get the access, you can let me know during the session.
Thank you, Shani.
All right. And one last thing before we all log off today. What did you say, Gunjan? I did not get. What did you copy paste?
Actually, it seems, Shani, you just copied the one cell rather than the whole range.
Right. Okay. So I can copy this entire thing. And then I can go to my final dashboard and do a paste special, link image, and get all of them together. Correct. All right. And I can do that for the names also, correct?
Yes, we can link them.
Okay. So everyone who does not have any doubt can log off. Gunjan has a doubt, so I'll just solve his doubts over there. So anybody else who does not have a doubt can log off. Gunjan, can you help me with the assignment? Like which assignment are we talking about? 1 and 3?
The last working day on the Thursday. We have 3 questions on the pivot.
What pivot? Okay.
On VLOOKUP and approx VLOOKUP.
Oh, you talking about the class exercise?
Yes.
Okay, 1 second.
Usually I have a doubt in Spark lines, so
sure, please stay back. Let me just solve Gunjan's query and then I'll come over here. What was the sheet? Churn model, right?
Shani, I think Gunjan is talking about the main assignment which we attempted on Thursday.
Yes,
yes.
Shani.
Oh, you're talking about the
assignment.
assessment.
Yeah,
Right,
assessment.
assessment rather than
Assessment. Okay, not assignment. Assessment. Okay, weekly assessment.
Shani, I also have the problem in VLOOKUP.
Which question?
VLOOKUP.
1 second. Let Gunjan solve his problem. Then I'll, ask everyone else. Yes, Gunjan.
The first question was showing the figure as a ratio, loan to the income ratio. How do we do that? Do we use what I did? I divided the figure and used the custom format to show them as a ratio figure.
Oh, you meant to put the 2 colons?
Yes.
Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. I just wanted a number basically.
Yeah, what I did, I added one calculated field and
Absolutely.
divide the loan amount divide by the total income into 100.
Absolutely. That
But
is
it was-
actually what I wanted.
But
Gunjan, you
number
went
was looking
little-
so weird. Like I
But
just read that
Exactly.
it is wrong.
And the whole time I was
But-
thinking I was doing incorrectly because the number is so weird.
that was
Decimal
not in the
and so-
ratio format though.
No, when you say ratio, I really don't want the colons to be there. So when you come across and say we want a ratio, it's not necessary that I have to show it as a colon, because it's a table. You're using a pivot table. You're using tables. So in tables, how would you show for two of them?
And ratio is a part of like percentage only. So it will come in like so 0.00 something.
It's going to be a decimal number that you will
Yeah,
look at.
decimal.
Actually, what I did a calculated field of the loan upon income, and under the number format of that same option, I manually customed the figure.
No.
Like 0.0:1, which shows the income is the one.
No. We don't want that much. It's okay. But you could have done simplify a text function also to concatenate both of them and put the colon in the middle.
Yes.
Yeah.
That you could
Ishani,
have done.
can you solve these? Because I'm also confused on this second one.
This one I'll solve and send it to you.
Okay.
Okay, I'll send the solution for the second assessment. Oh, this assessment, first one. Sorry, not the second one. First one I'll solve and send it today. Let me write what I promised. LMS access and the assessment solution set.
So Ishani, actually what we face the challenge that when we see the question, it looks very simple, but when we implement the functions or we look up and the pivot, then at that point of time, the desired result is not coming. We are aware of the formulas which needs to be done, but not able to implement that. So how you solve it?
How I take care of it. Like I said in the previous session also, I think I did tell you that typically when I work with data or any problem, I don't do it in this fashion that, okay, I have a data set, what will fit in? Will it be VLOOKUP or will it be pivot or will it be conditional formatting? And that's how I've seen people thinking. They think what fits in. Instead of seeing what fits in, what you need to do is think about, okay, manually, if I have to do it, how would I do it? Think about the logical step or the logical process, what is required to do this problem. Once you've got the logical steps in, then you think, okay, if I have to do this, like, for example, if I have to show the graduate and non-graduate loan amount to applicant income. So simple process is what? That if I have to find a ratio, how would I do it? I'll divide the amount by income, right? Now, first step has to be this. Second step is, okay, if I have found out that this is to be done, how do I divide it? Then you can think, okay, I put a simple division sign. I have to put a calculated field since we are talking about the pivot table and so on and so forth. But the first step is always to think in manual way, how and what will you do logically to get the data. Unless you don't train yourself to do this will always be a challenge whenever the data changes or the question changes. The question in the sense the business requirement changes, the assignments changes, then you will always get stuck, always. So I gave this because I know you guys have got too comfortable with the table. And a lot of you would have got confused between vertical and horizontal value. Yes or no?
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
And this question clears the doubts. Yeah.
Yes, and it was mandatory for me to understand that did you really follow this process or did you just say left is VLOOKUP, above one is match, and my work is done. So I had to change that thought process. So that's the reason I was like, okay, I know these guys can work on table. I'll change this part. And I know a lot of you must have got confused in this area. So I'll send you the solution and tomorrow probably we can discuss once you've looked at the solution also.
Ishani, I have put the formula in this, but I got the answer of NA every time.
Formula is not correct then.
Hi, Ishani, I use the formula VLOOKUP, but I forgot to use the VLOOKUP match function as a column index number. So I put the column index number manually.
But then it's wrong, right? Because my question says there is a list in cell A5 and B4, hence the values can be changed constantly. So I can change this. So if you don't put a match function, how will your formulas work? I had specified for this reason only. I forced you to use the match.
I didn't notice the tab name VLOOKUP match.
No, it's
Actually,
not
I
about the
didn't notice
it's not about the
tab
tab.
name as VLOOKUP match.
That's okay if you see the tab or no tab. But the point is, the need of this the work was that this is changing, right? If this is changing, then how can you make a static formula for me? It won't work, right? So we'll discuss tomorrow how to do it. I'll send you the solutions today, and then we can discuss it tomorrow.
Yeah, I will do it with the
Try
match
with
function
match.
also.
Yes. Do we need to do anything to get LMS access? Yes, you guys have to do a sign up. So I have sent the link, Arshad, and I'll send it in the form of an email, a formal email. So there's a link of sign up. Click on it. Once you've done a sign up, then you will be assigned a course. So once you do a sign up, give me about half an hour, 45 minutes. So you get assigned a course. And then once you be there, you will be able to see the advanced Excel course. When you click in there, the notes or any, the videos that I was talking to you about, I can give you access to that. All these
Okay,
files that we
thank you.
keep sharing between each other, we'll put it on LMS as a process there.
So today we will get the link
Yes.
on our email ID.
Email ID, that's correct. Because now we have the complete list.
Okay,
All
thank
right.
you so much.
You're
Ishani,
welcome.
I
Yes,
have
Shraddha.
one last question.
Yes.
On dashboard thing, I am little confused on the prototype thing. So on a theoretical way and on a practical way as well.
So theoretically, what is the problem?
I mean, I'm just trying to understand what prototype does. I mean, what are
So
the
for
things?
example, a simple example, let's say you're going to create a product. Let's say you're going to create a new phone.
Mhm.
Okay. So what will be the steps you take?
Create a phone.
Yeah, if you want to create a phone, you are not just going to have all the equipments with you, all the components with you, and you just place it and then you say, okay, the phone is ready. What do you think goes in the process if I have to come up with a new product?
Market research, I would say. And
You do market research and then you decide, okay, these are the features. Then
Mm.
you will create a design document, right?
Yeah.
In you, which you will say, okay, the front looks like this.
This
This is how the icons
just
would be.
creating an image of it or kind of a
Exactly. And then you say, okay, the backside looks like this. This is where I want the camera to be. This is where I want the logo to be.
and then try to implement those changes in the actual
Exactly.
dashboard. Okay,
So that is exactly
Makes
what a
sense.
prototype means.
Okay, cool.
Because otherwise, think about it. Let's say if I don't think about in our line of work also, forget about the product, but in our line of work also, if you have not given enough thought to the design of what will come where, you will see it looks like a patchwork.
Yeah.
That you decided, now you remembered this, so you put it over here. So it looks very, very, very shabby patchwork of charts also.
Yeah.
So if you put a prototype in front of you, if you've already designed, if you sketched it, then it looks much better as a product,
Yeah, makes sense.
right?
Okay. Thank you, Ishani.
All right, you're welcome. Is there any data shared today? No, it did not. Every cell was copied and pasted. Okay. All right, great. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. And like I said, we will be working with text functions and conditional format. All right. Yes.
Sure, Ishani.
Usually one Sparklines where it is
Mhm.
actually Sparkline option, because I am searching in my Excel, but I couldn't able to get that option.
It's an insert.
Insert.
Next to slices. Which version of Excel do you have?
Old version only, so that's the reason I couldn't able to get this
If you
function.
have 2007 does not have sparklines or slices. It does
Maybe
not
that
have
is,
row.
yes, maybe that is the issue. Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Names of function. Okay.
All right.
Okay, Sharon. That's the
All
one.
right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye, guys.
Thank you, Sunny. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.